Why do cops ask for civilians to stop recording, when cops wear body cams anyway? I know cops can turn their body cam off, which is only ever going to look suspicious as hell to me. But why do they always ask people to turn their camera off? In most recorded situations where someone is interacting with an officer and they're filming the cop, the officer asks them to turn it off. Do they have the right to enforce such a thing? The cops have control over the body cam video. They don't control civilian video. They want to have as much control over their image as possible. It's not illegal to ask people to stop recording. The civilian does not have to, so long as it does not interfere with the officer's duties or violate any other laws in public spaces. It does depend if people are either interfering, eavesdropping, or there are safety concerns. They can ask, but if you're in public and not interfering and you get arrested for refusing, you will probably get some money out of it. There are times when a cop should turn his camera off, like when talking to a CI, having a personal conversation, or discussing an open investigation. But any interaction with the public should be recorded. In the United States, recording the police and any public official is a constitutionally protected activity. Filming in any public place is also protected, and no one has to give consent either. You have no expectation of privacy in a public space. Because cops, who are also civilians by the way, military is not involved, have no control over what happens to the footage. Bodycam footage is difficult to get onto social media. A privately recorded footage can be placed on social media without police department having a chance to vet it. My friend's police department has been told specifically not to ask people to stop taking video. It's a person's right in a public place to photograph record, as there is no reasonable expectation of privacy, even for police. If someone is taking video of a crime scene, make the boundaries of the crime scene broader. The only thing I know his department takes issue to is proximity. Occasionally an officer will tell someone to step back, for their safety and the cops. And it's either 20 or 50 feet, depending on the activity. But that's what zooming in is for. When things go wrong for the cops, they delay, waiting for the heat to die down. Look how long it took them to release the footage of that adolescent getting shot by the Chicago police. They even refused to release it after they were court-ordered to. Civilian footage can break immediately, and then the cops have an incensed community to deal with. Because the police control who sees the body cam, or if the body cam is functioning properly. They have no control over what some random person puts on YouTube. Filming police activity should be considered an inalienable right. If I was a cop, I'd prefer people record, cause then it's coverage of the whole scene, not just what I'm seeing. Because they can. You're not obligated to comply. It's harder to make it go missing. Note that cops are civilians. Do not allow the language to be changed. If a cop ever tells you to stop recording, you definitely need to keep recording. If you want to record, just put the phone in your shirt pocket and let it run. Don't mention it. I think it's more about people coming onto a scene and getting in the way with recording, rather than the act of recording itself, that is a problem. It's not illegal to film anyone in a public place. I've never asked anyone to stop recording me. I encouraged it. I have, however, had several civilians complain when they found out I had a body camera and were recording them. Many telling me to turn it off, and they didn't give me permission to record them. Because they can't control the narrative if you have proof they did something wrong. It is absolutely your right to record them. But they don't want you to know that. Civilian videos are often edited specifically to make the cop look bad. In the current world we live in, it's commonplace for the civilians to only produce portions of the video. Specifically after the incident occurred. They don't typically start recording until after the officer has already started the interaction. This doesn't give the entire story as to why and how the officer got involved to begin with. Get a dash cam. The Seattle cops are a good reason why after the body cam recording was released without any edits. They are afraid that if they do something illegal, they will not be able to cover it up. They're used to being in charge, and anything unusual conflicting with their alpha male dominance throws them off. They can't handle it because they're about to do something illegal. There's plenty of videos of cops asking if they're being recorded and then just moving because we're 100 allowed to do that. Guilty conscience, I suppose. It is stupid. My brother, who happens to be a cop, calls it contempt of cop. He doesn't understand why they act like that besides a power trip. Not all body cam footage is released to the public by property of ownership. Any video not by police is not subject to the same critical review. Independent video is just that. Independent of the system that is enforcing. Because the truth is always apparent with one angle. I could go on. Go watch police activity on YouTube for years. You'll see why. If someone came to my mundane job and started recording me, I would ask them to turn it off. I imagine in their high-stress job having someone pointing a camera in their face wouldn't be great. Because cops are human. Most cops don't care about the recording. You only see the ones that freak out. Same with every person who gets recorded. Some cops, like some people, are misinformed on the legality of it as well. In response to you saying cops can turn theirs off but it feels suspicious. Agreed. But feeling suspicious is a more acceptable risk to them than having proof of what they did or didn't do. Because it's distracting when someone is up in your face recording you trying to do your job. I work in a financial center. One day someone was berating me about laws I don't make and why my firm follows them. He then started recording me. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I still wasn't able to concentrate on what I was saying when this was happening. If the cops are focused on being recorded and not looking out for safety, they might make mistakes. Because they can pause, mute, and delete their own cams when they're doing something sketchy. They're terrified of citizens with cameras that know their rights. Because the data is available to you, whereas cops fuck with the camera. Shut it off. Cover it. Alter it at the station. Etc. Like the cop that talked about that Indian woman getting killed by another cop that leaked due to a whistleblower. If cops aren't doing anything wrong, they have nothing to worry about. Ray-Ban has been advertising smart sunglasses on my FB feed. They should just assume at this point that we all are recording all the time. Because there's about 100 chance the civilian is going to post it online. Especially if the civilian believes the officer has done something wrong. Body cam footage most likely won't end up on the internet. At least not immediately. That's just my assumption though. I don't actually know. Charitable answer: the cop doesn't believe the person filming can do so without interfering with an interaction, or being in the way if the interaction takes an unexpected turn. To me, pointing a phone at the cop prevents me from pointing a weapon at them with at least one hand and helps them control the situation. Also, a lot of PPL who record get too close. Cops usually want PPL to back off the premises for safety etc. concerns. Just to make sure you and people hear now. It can be sketchy if a cop turns off their body cam footage. But they are excused if they may be discussing sensitive information about with the suspect victim.